Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today's December 6th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see we've got California over here to the right of the screen, and not much in the way of these clouds making its way down into the region just yet. This system is mainly headed towards the Pacific Northwest, but we are going to get a little glancing shot across some northern portions, and this will cool us down a little bit here as we go through the early portion of next week. And then we'll take a look at that extended forecast. Continues to show some exciting stuff. The problem is that it's a little ways out there in the forecast. We can't get too excited just yet. But taking a look at what is ongoing right now. Again, another infrared satellite imagery look here. And if I stop this and then put that into motion, you can kind of see that fog moving around some of the San Joaquin Valley here this morning and kind of creeping its way upward. It's kind of a narrow tongue there, but some of that looks like it's forming across some of the Sacramento Valley right now. Also, the sun rises, but you can still see the fog out there across some of the valley areas and some of that marine layer across Southern California as we go through this morning. You can see the high-level clouds moving across northern portions. No storm reports to speak of. We're pretty quiet right now, but if we take a look at the North American model, high resolution, you see the system clipping portions in Northern California. A little bit of some light, moderate rainfall there, and not much of it. Maybe some of the very highest terrain in Northeast California get a little bit of wintry precipitation out of that. And then that system will move through and again bring a chillier air mass behind it. We'll take a look at that here in a moment. It's also going to bring a little bit of a kick of the winds. You can see we are dealing with some gusty winds today out of the north and the northeast, easterly winds, northerly across the southern Sierra Nevada. And you can see that across the desert areas here as well. So as we go on in through Saturday, you'll see that we're still dealing with some of these winds, but we do relax them a bit as we go through the day Saturday. Then the next system kind of pushes down. You see some of these northerlies emerge across the Sacramento Valley. The winds pick up down the coastal areas here as we go through Sunday morning also. So yeah, nothing too extreme out there, but you can kind of see the direction of these winds as we go through the next couple of days. And again, that shot of northerlies comes as we go through very late Saturday night and on into Sunday morning, all the way down the Sacramento Valley and to the northern portions of the San Joaquin Valley there. Taking a look at the daily 2-meter max temperatures. Here we go for Saturday, December 7th. There's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You can kind of see things cooling off a little bit here as we go through the early portion of next week. There's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Nothing too dramatic there, but definitely cooler air mass probably coming down across the region as we go through this upcoming week and towards next weekend as well. Now, if we take a look at minimum temperatures, you'll also see this cooling trend. Look at by the time we get towards Tuesday, look at some of these chilly temperatures across some of the valley areas here. And of course, most of the portions of Nevada are below freezing there Tuesday morning, some of the higher terrain. So you'll feel that cool down as we go through next week, feeling a little bit like winter here. Taking a look at the GFS, the 12Z run. Let me update this so we have all the most recent data. It's running as we speak. Here goes the system into the Pacific Northwest, just clipping Northern California. A little bit of a chilly air mass settles down over the Intermountain West there. That will have some impact on the temperatures as I showed you. And then we scroll off into the future and you see the GFS just wants to continue to bring some storms up into the Pacific Northwest, and some of these starting to clip the region here as we go towards the end of next week. But it doesn't look like too much on the GFS. However, I'll show you the European in a moment. You see some of these systems burrowing into the Oregon coastline. And we'll just continue to watch that. This goes out 10 days as of right now. But if we look at the artificial intelligence European model, there's the Pacific Northwest systems there. Chilly air mass settles down across the west. And we start to go out in towards next week. And you can see the storm track into the Pacific Northwest, but it does include portions of California as we go through next weekend at times. And you can see maybe some more interesting systems out here. But again, we're looking way off into the forecast. This is over 200 hours out, so we have to take that with a grain of salt. But the models have been flipping and flopping back and forth, showing some active weather for California coming up as we go through the second half of December, let's call it, or the mid portion and the second half of December. But right now, it's still just fantasy. And you can see in the experimental product, they continue to show this risk for some heavy precipitation. And there it is, the slight December 13th through 16th. We'll see how that trends. It's just kind of an interesting signal. And they do show the potential for some heavy mountain snows and some wind potential as well. But again, it's so far out, it is just a fantasy forecast. Here's the 6 to 10 day. You can see that above average signal here for a lot of the west. And some below average here across the southwest, but some above maybe for Northern California. We'll see how that trends. And there's the 8 to 14 day, which does include more of that above average signal across California. So they are kind of pointing to that time frame here with some of the potential for these systems to make their way down in. But of course, if you watch here daily, you will have the heads up on that, and you'll know before anybody else does on what is to come in the future. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day out there today. Watch out for that fog and whatnot, and a little bit of drop in the temperatures next week, and we'll break everything down again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.